Good morning, good evening. My name is Javier Mejia, Carlos Javier Mejia. I was born in Nicaragua. I have lived in Nicaragua for many years, exiled twice, persecuted politically, confiscated as well. If you ask me my opinion about what's going on with Iran being attacked by the United States of America, I endorse that. I agree with President Trump in attacking Iran. Why? President Trump has clearly said that he is defending the national territory of the United States of America. The United States of America has interests outside and inside of the US. Now, Iran has been a partner country with Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua. And for almost 3 decades, almost 30 years, Iran has used these 3 countries as springboards to continue bringing young jihadist people who spoke Spanish fluently, but they were settled in Nicaragua, Cuba, and Venezuela. They were granted new passports with Hispanic names, and they put on their birth certificates and passports that they were born in these respective countries. If they came to Nicaragua to be further trained in military jihadist, operations, they came to learn Spanish and learned it with this Nicaraguan accent, right? Because they were living in Nicaragua, because they're gonna prepare them to look, they groom them to be Nicaraguans, right? Nicaraguans. If they brought them to Venezuela, then they will groom them to act as Venezuelans, to have the Venezuelan accent, even marry Venezuelans or Nicaraguans, and same with Cuba. So they received new passports, new birth certificates with their new assigned names, and their old pastors were taken away from them. They financed them to do like shell businesses, to create shell businesses. And what they did was that they were getting money from Iran. In fact, we had people that came from Libya when Muammar Gaddafi was in Libya. We had people from Libya also coming to Nicaragua, and we had people from Syria. So all these people coming to our countries were being trained to be jihadists that spoke fluently in Spanish with the particular accent of each nation. Now, for how long? Then they will get businesses, running businesses. They will open normal bank accounts. And those shell companies were just doing money laundering. Because remember that Iran was sending lots of planes to our countries, and they brought cash money that started circulating in the banking system of Nicaragua, the same for Venezuela, I imagine for Cuba. I cannot speak for Cuba, but I know the story of Nicaragua and Venezuela. So they were money laundering, acting as if there were, sound, solid entrepreneurs conducting businesses in our countries. But eventually, they would go to the United States Embassy and apply for a visa to the consulate, to the American consulate, to apply for visas so that they could also have their new Nicaraguan passports with Nicaraguan names or Venezuelan names and passports in Venezuela. And they would get visas for the United States of America so that they would pose or act as normal Nicaraguans or Venezuelans. Thus, Iran has been conspiring and premeditating the destruction of the United States of America for at least 25, 30 years. They had like a religious regime, jihadist religious regime that swore to the destruction of Israel. And since the United States of America is always, defending Israel, siding with Israel, of course, then the United States of America becomes the enemy of Iran. So all these people coming, and with all these massive migrations that came from Latin America, many of them came from Nicaragua, from Cuba, and Venezuela. And guess how many were Iranians, maybe Libyans, maybe Syrians, that were coming through the south borders of the United States of America to create the sleep cells. All these cells that go dormant, but they are being trained, but they are positioning themselves in strategic points or places in the United States where they could eventually attack, like in the case of today, or what happened with, or yesterday, with the attack to Iran. Of course, we need to destroy Iran because Iran is a mortal enemy of the United States of America. You need to cut the head of that serpent that has been there for too long, for too many years, too many administrations that have allowed Satan himself in Iran to just become stronger, to use their oil money and their partnerships with communist countries like Nicaragua, Venezuela, with Chavez, formerly Hugo Chavez, and then with Maduro, Daniel Ortega, Rosario Murillo, who has a lot of saying in Nicaragua. We need to cut the head of the serpent, but we also have to remember that the body is going to be shaken violently to cause damage. That's the sleep cells that could be in the United States. I'm sure they are here, because this is what they've been doing for 20 plus years. Being our countries like Nicaragua and Venezuela being used as springboards for Iran. Remember also that this is not just the threats against the United States of America because of Iran, but cannot forget the partnership of those that have contributed to strengthening and to keeping Iran in power, the regime of Iran, which is China, communist China, and then Russia. Those are the two top power countries, right? Industrial and armamentistic countries backing Iran. So we cannot allow that regime to remain in power, and whoever is still in power there, controlling or attacking the Iranian people. We need to go and finish that job in Iran. I know that some people like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and other Republicans don't agree with what President Trump is doing, but I do, because I come from Nicaragua and I know what communism is all about. And it is that the enemies of my enemy are my friends. Iran, Russia, China, Nicaragua, Venezuela are all friends united to destroy the United States of America and destroy Israel. So we gotta take the right measures, act as fast as we can to continue to undermine and completely destroy that regime in Iran. We have to continue to destroy the regime in Venezuela, because there's still a lot of communists in power. And we got to do the same in Nicaragua, because they are one and the same. They are evil. And we got to do the same with Cuba. So this is the message I have for the American people, and I support President Trump in what he is doing. I bless him. I pray for President Trump and all his cabinet, for his family, and we're going to continue to pray for them, because they need our help. The Christian church needs to pray for them so that they will be guided by the Holy Spirit and by the power of God, so that we can bring peace to this earth, to this planet. God bless you. Take good care of yourselves. I expect some comments.